Heroes, villains, a tale as old as time, and the never-ending battle to protect truth and justice from those who thrive on chaos and bloodshed. Come with us as we peel back the mask on your beloved Crusaders of Light and dive deep into the dark and twisted abyss of your most feared and hated harbingers of doom. Follow your host, Power Maximus, and everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, as they take a trip down the rabbit hole that is everything super. So, are you a hero or a villain? Either way, find that super suit and suit up for the Super Breakdown.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, all level 7s, to the Super Breakdown. We are back at it again. Another week, especially it's Black History Month. It's another great, great week to be black. I love it. I love it. Last week, damn, who did we talk about? Oh, last week we talked about Static Shock. This week, we're gonna take a step back and we're gonna really dive deep into a character that I love and I feel like is like I'm trying to think if I could relate this character. No, Triage. If you could relate this character to one real world person, who would it be?
I'd say a young Huey P. Newton.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Honestly, that's perfect right there. A young Huey P. Newton. So if you haven't guessed by now, if you haven't been following our Instagram, you haven't seen our posts, you really should follow our Instagram. That way you can see all of our posts. We're going to be talking about Eric Killmonger today. Yes, also known as Njadaka, who is essentially T'Challa's cousin, because he's King T'Chaka's brother's Njobu's son.
In the
Right?
MCU.
I hit that? In the
Yeah.
MCU. All right, cool.
Is that your Terramana tequila I'm hearing in the background?
Jingling, jingling. Oh man, this is so much heritage. You know what I mean? I feel like when you drink Terramana, you drink it from a long lineage of Hawaiians that decide to make tequila. No. Yep. No. That's not. It ain't work. Nope. But no. Yes. That is my Terramana. I'm currently drinking their Añejo brand. It's a darker, more like whiskey barrel rested tequila. Still continuously straight agave. It's super sweet when you chill it. Super sweet, little no burn. But yeah, it's a black label. You know, the top actually has actual wax on it. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna dive into it today. Let's start off with his original origin. His original origin in the comics. We don't really see too much of Killmonger in the early years of Marvel and the early years of Black Panther. Clearly, as of within the last 5, 10 years. He's definitely become way more prevalent, being portrayed by Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. but also just the way they wrote him within the new iteration. He also has a new run I don't know if the run's over or if it's like midway through. That's the comic that you let me read the other day, right?
Yes, that was a short run.
Mm. Okay. So within that one, they redid his origin. It didn't seem like they redid it by much, though.
Yeah, they basically gave it a more modern feel to it.
Okay. But yeah, everything's pretty much the same, just with some minor tweaks. So what is his original origin?
So, as we know, Ulysses Claw is one of the few people to ever sneak into Wakanda.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when Claw snuck in, he was in the process of stealing vibranium to sell on the black market. Now, when Claw snuck in, one of the things that he did indirectly was kill young Njidaka's family.
Mm. Okay. So that matches up.
And then on his way back out of the village, for whatever reason, he takes young Njidaka prisoner and basically makes him a slave.
Damn, he fucking shit up coming in and fucking shit up coming out. Wow. Damn.
Yeah,
Man,
so
colonizer.
right. So one of Claw's, let's say, overseers, who was of African descent, who actually helped him get into the country, basically trains Njidaka to be a mercenary and a skilled killer. And the wild part is that he actually even gives him the new name. He actually even gives him the new name Eric. And how after a certain point, Eric now decides to kill his overseer and live by his own rules. And he's completely caught off guard when he does this. And it was funny as hell because he's like, how could you kill me? How could you do this to me, Eric? How could you betray me? He was like, this is what you taught me since you've taken me from my homeland. What were you expecting?
Mm. Okay. Now I'm really looking at it. So we have like three different origins that we got to talk about then. I talk about the original, talking about the new one from the short run, and then also the MCU version. So it I really feel like they haven't really changed it up very much though. Like
Well,
at least the origins of what makes him the man. Not they didn't really change it up too much.
they did, but they didn't. So when he winds up
Mm.
being taken from Wakanda, he winds up settling in New York City in the comics. And he winds up
Mm.
taking the surname Killmonger, and then he basically goes on a mission to get back to his homeland and eventually take back power. And because he blamed the death of his family on the weakness of the king, because he felt like the king couldn't protect his own land.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your whole goal and your whole job is to protect your subjects and your people, and yet this outsider came in, stole your material, killed multiple of your citizens, and then stormed out, and then you spent the next 20-30 years chasing this person and could never catch him.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the reasons why Daniel Kaluuya's character Wakabi was so pissed.
Yeah, I like his character, like his role in that was so small, but I feel like it also made a lot of impact. He was the first to kind of be like, yeah, nah, Killmonger's right. I'm gonna fucks with him. I'm gonna rock with him. Which I found really interesting because we really don't figure too much out what happens to his character after.
Who?
Daniel Kaluuya's character.
They mentioned that he was locked up in Wakanda forever, but they never went into like details of anything like of like his imprisonment. But yeah, so the whole thing was supposed to be that he settled in New York, and as he went through New York, as he grew up, he wound up earning, going to MIT and earning a master's and two PhDs.
I thought it was MBA in the what M. It was something for scientists. That's a little. That's like further above PhD. I can't remember what it is. I said MBA. I think it is actually. Yeah, I think it is. Like M as in Mary, BA. But yeah, it was like the highest possible like a degree that you can get at MIT, which is fucking crazy in my mind. Like a character, he's that intelligent that like he when he graduates from college, he can literally do whatever the hell he wants to do. Yet, what ends up happening? He gets all he graduates and shit. Like, what ends up happening?
Well, now here's where the versions can vary depending on the material we're talking about. Now, in the MCU, we know that he was instead raised in California, and that was I think kind of cool because you have the actual Black Panthers that were based out in Oakland. That's where he grew up and was born and raised. But
Mm-hmm.
in the comics, we have it so Killmonger's whole thing was he wanted to get back at Ulysses Claw.
Yeah.
So, and they're actually this shit's actually pretty wild. So he actually tracks him down with every intention of taking him out, but gets stopped by a group of mercenaries.
Mm.
He gets kidnapped by them and gets brought before their boss, who was revealed to be Wilson Fisk,
Wilson Fisk,
the Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
And Kingpin basically tells him like, "Yo, you can't kill Ulysses Claw because Ulysses Claw works for me." And he was like, "Yo, I've been tracking Claw since I was, 10 years old." He was like, "You can't just sit here and tell me that Ulysses Claw works for you. I don't even know who you are." And he was like, "That's exactly the point." He was like, "Ulysses Claw doesn't even know he works for me, but he works for me, and I can't just let you come in here and kill him."
Mm. Now, yeah, I know. So after this or whatever, this little team of what we end up finding out are like pretty much like a team of metahumans. One has the power of like, was it electricity or was it like
One was
static in a way?
a healer, another one was telekinetic, and I believe another one was super strong.
That's what it was. He was telekinetic. His name, the leader's name was King, and he was like telekinetic. Then he had like their muscle was a chick. She had super strength. Then their third was the guy who had like a ridiculous healing factor, like on par with like Deadpool and Wolverine. Completely just can regenerate whole entire limbs. So pretty much, Face is like, all right, well, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Take him away, guys. So, but the team ends up taking him and letting him loot and letting him go.
Mm-hmm.
Now he thinking it's all smooth, all slide. He think he Gucci. They let him go. He just gonna get back to doing his damn thing. No, he gets back to his crib, gets attacked, murks them all, and then come to find out it was all just a test from the gang because they wanted to see what he was really made of so he can join the team. So he ends up reluctantly joining their team because they're like, yo, listen, we can get you close to Fisk. Fisk can get you close to Claw, and you can do what you got to do that way. Think smarter, not harder. Not everything is about like brute force. So he ends up saying, all right, whatever, fuck it, let's do the damn thing. Now, he's working with these guys for a little while, and their goal is to be Fisk's top, like, mercenaries and shit. Unfortunately, lo and behold, they get the shot at that. Unfortunately, in order to be that, they got to take out his number one mercenary, which would be fucking Bullseye.
Correct.
Yeah, at that point, niggas just like, nah, nah, we're good. We don't need that smoke. They was not with the smoke whatsoever when it came to Bullseye. At least King wasn't.
Well,
King was
yeah.
not. He was not with the shits.
Well, he knew his reputation because
Mm-hmm.
anyone who got sent after Bullseye or Bullseye went after always wound up dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Bullseye got his job, don't you?
I do, and I forgot it.
So Bullseye showed up claiming that he wanted to work for Kingpin, but Kingpin's whole thing was he already had a top assassin. His assassin was Elektra. So
Mm-hmm.
Bullseye hunted her down and killed her. He stabbed her in the chest with her own side.
Mm. Yes. Yes, I do know that. Yep. Which, man. Now I'm interested to see how this is gonna work in how they're gonna work that out in Deadpool Born Again. I'm interested in seeing how that all works out. Because everyone is returning, including the guy that played Bullseye in that. But no, so yeah, so as they're talking about, nah, fuck this, we're gonna get some passports, we're gonna dip out, we're done with this. They end up getting attacked by Bullseye. He ends up killing the pretty much unkillable man by
Oh,
cutting off his head and blowing it up. Rook, right?
yeah. First thing he does.
Yup. Right off rip. Boom. Done. Over with. Now at this point they're like, oh shit. They start running whatever. And to wrap it all up, they end up going to separate ways. Um Eric and the chick, I can't remember her name.
Night.
Knight. Yeah, it was King, Knight, and Rook. I'm like, those names sound very, 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 very familiar to me. Now they go to separate ways, whatever. Killmonger and Knight, they end up staying together, end up shacking up. They do the damn thing,
Get coffee.
and yeah, they go and get some coffee, and no sugar, no cream, just straight coffee, black, cause it was black, y'all. It was black, y'all. But that and I say that because like after they do what they do, he's like, oh listen, like you're a whole black queen. Come with me, rock with me. We'll go take over Wakanda, which is made for us, black folk. We can be kings and queens out there. Live a life that like you could never even dream of. Come with me. Shorty's like, I bet. Now, I just want to point out this storyline goes to show how trifling women can be. Even in the even she's not even real and she trifling. Like Shorty says, I bet we're gonna do that. We're gonna get together. We're gonna go take over Wakanda. We're gonna live this life of luxury. Only just to turn around and go pretty much rat everyone out the shield, so she can make a better life for herself.
Yeah, she was definitely dry snitching.
There is nothing dry about it. That bitch was wet. Wet.
Well,
She was sopping. Like she gave no fuck. She was like, hey yo, listen, so he over here, they over there, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I want my better life. So now while she goes to dry snitch or wet snitch, pretty much Eric gets ran down on by Shield, gets captured. So she bargains with Shield that if pretty much she gives her King, gives Black Widow King, then they'll let Eric go and they can go do whatever they want. Yeah. Don't end up working that way. So they end up going to King, wherever King is. They chatting it up, trying to tell him like, hey, yo, listen, shit's crazy right now. Eric don't know that they made this deal at this point fully, and like at least to the extent. He's like, all right, yo, we just gonna talk to him, gonna get him to go where he gotta go, call it a day. We dip out, do our shit. They get there, they have the chat. King's like, I'm not having it. I'm happy here. I'm gonna chill here with my wife and do my damn thing. Killmonger gets up and goes to talk to him. Bro, why does this bitch grab King's wife, put a gun to her head? Mind you, King is a telekinetic. Put a gun to her head and say, yo, listen, I'm gonna kill her if you don't come with us. Don't turn yourself into SHIELD. And also called SHIELD agents. So now it's a damn near mini war going on the farm. Bitches is trifling. Trifling. And all that shit just for King and his wife to end up dying. And Eric to end up pretty much coming full circle, full fledged into Killmonger. Now, the kind of like halfway point of this story is really interesting. So as he's sitting there, as the story goes on, you see him regularly talk to Boss, and pretty much she's telling him like, yo, let go of this anger, let go of this rage. He's like, nah, I did it your way, it ain't working, I'm gonna do it my way. But come to find out, there was somebody else kind of whispering in his ear at the same time, which was Boss' sister. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I can't remember how it was said.
Yeah, the phrasing of it is wild, but she's essentially like the like while Bass is the panther god, she was like the leopard god or like a jaguar god, and she's like, but like she was based out of hate, anger, pain, revenge, and war. So she starts talking to this man who was literally hell bent on revenge, and all he wants is to make war. Craziness. Now, the way this story ends, bro. Walk them through the way this story ends. The story ends crazy.
So the wild part is that Eric being a mercenary, being a trained killer, actually basically dives deep into that world and spends the next few years building his skills and earning his rep. And then lo and behold, he hunts down Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells Knight that he has her sister, and that unless she plants data on the SHIELD mainframe, he's gonna kill her.
Now, that right off the rip, that's gangsta as fuck. That is like, hey, yo, listen. All you gotta do, I'll leave you alone. I just need you to do this real quick, and I'll give her back. What happens next? Tell him what happens next.
So in the process of her doing this, she gets the information, she brings it back to him, for him to reveal that was never his true intention. He was setting her up in the first place to plant stuff onto the drives, and then once SHIELD showed up to arrest this nigga, he proceeds to go full John Wick and shoot his way through the building.
Like, how do you get someone to pretty much to plant evidence on their self? Like, he had her plant evidence on herself, and then stood there and let SHIELD come for her. And like you said, it can proceeded to just absolutely massacre everyone.
And it's
Like
wild
that.
because her knight's contact was Natasha Romanoff was the Black Widow.
Yep.
And the Widow basically
Well,
told her like,
I would call her more so of a handler.
yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah, she was definitely more so of a handler.
And the wild part was like the Widow basically told her like, yo, you gotta hang everyone out to dry, you gotta do this, that, and the third, and then we'll consider see here's the wild part. Knight thought she was gonna work for Shield like the way Natasha did. She's like, no, she's like, you cannot be me. She's like, if you're lucky, we might relocate you and give you a new name. Other than that,
You're useless. You're worthless.
yeah, you're worthless. Like you're only as good as the information you can provide.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, what you're providing is basically going to get you this far. And she took that little piece of turf and was okay with it until Eric showed back up.
Mm-hmm. Killed his sister, had her plant evidence on herself, let her get arrested. Well, actually, no, set her up to get arrested because she never actually got arrested. He murked her ass. She died.
Right. And the wild part was
then,
right before she died, she actually saw the spirit that had been speaking to Eric.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. She's like, what? What? He's like, what are you looking at? He's like, who's that behind you? He's like, that's none of your business. And oh man, this man was an absolute beast. And like, now I definitely want to see the way that ends because this comic of his origin, the more modern version from the short run, ends off with him in Wakanda speaking with T'Challa.
Well, apparently that story ties back into the 2018, 2019 run of the Black Panther. So you have him arrive back in Wakanda, and so in the original run, it was supposed to be that T'Challa, who was studying abroad, winds up coming to the United States, and how he winds up making his way to New York, and he wound up joining the Avengers. Now, Killmonger, who was in New York in the comics, goes to him and tells him like, yo, I'm a native of Wakanda. I've been away from my home. He's like, all I just want to do is go back. And he was like, and T'Challa, once he verified who he was, took him back home. Like and he was completely re-embraced by the people because of everything that he had did. It's like, him graduating ahead of his class, him having all this knowledge, him making something of himself outside of his circumstances. They renamed a village in his honor when he came back home.
And then within that, he slowly decided to sit and build and plot and plan on how to overthrow T'Challa.
Yes. But it was but it's also one of them things, like, if you look at certain things, like you look at the world now and things that have gone on and things that have happened, especially in the last 20 years, like Africa was almost robbed naked once before. You really got to let it happen again. And that's one of them things that they talk about, like, when Everett Ross and all these other people come up, like, you keep letting all these other people dictate to you what's going to happen, where and when. There's no white man who's going to come into Wakanda and be like, oh, this is how it's going to be, and that's the end of it. He was like, you have the resources to be like, fuck you, go home before we have an issue.
And I feel like we get to see that really in Wakanda Forever really pushed with with his mom, like the way she ran down on, she's like, hey, yo, listen, we're gonna let y'all slide this time. Y'all had your little spies trying to come in and steal our resources. We're gonna let y'all slide this time, but y'all do it again, it's gonna be war.
Like, I'm bringing a belt for everybody.
Exactly, everybody gets some. And The Wakandan warriors are different. I feel like they're also built different because they're constantly being exposed to vibranium, which in the MCU can alter one's physical attributes.
I mean, that would make sense because
yeah,
you figure if it affected the plant life and everything else around it.
yeah. Because it's a radioactive metal. It's a radioactive isotope. So like, by whoever becomes Black Panther, ingesting the heart-shaped herb, they're ingesting that radioactive material, which in turn augments their body, making them faster, stronger, more agile, this, that, and the third. Now we've talked about Black Panther quite a few times so far in the past. Please check out our YouTube, y'all. The Super Breakdown podcast on YouTube. We got every single episode that we've ever done is up there. So if you're interested in learning about Spider-Man the animated series, Gargoyles the animated series, Batman the animated series. Oh, we didn't do Superman the animated series. I just thought about that. All these other dope ass 90s shows, 90s kid shows, all these characters. Oh yeah, we did. Didn't we broke down the X-Men, right? Or was it just Wolverine?
We did Wolverine.
Yeah, we did Wolverine, and within that we broke down the X-Men as well.
We did an Archangel. We have done Black Manta. We have done Deathstroke. There's been several characters that we have done.
Yes, absolutely. So please hop over there, check it out if you're interested, and we got more coming for you for you guys later this year. Now, how does the MCU's origin of Killmonger? Well, how would you say Killmonger's character in MCU holds up to his two other counterparts?
So, this is one of those things like where there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot there's not backlash, but there's some disagreement because some people feel like Michael B. Jordan wasn't he wasn't ruthless enough as the character. Now, me personally, I think that he played the character well. I'm not even going to say well. I think he played the character phenomenally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
I agree.
I think that his iteration and performance and take on the character was grounded in the material while also being modernized to fit the real world.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that. I feel like in the comic books, yes, the character needed to be ruthless on that level, on a more physical level. I personally felt Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger was ruthless on a more mental level. It played more into his intelligence than his physical prowess.
Yes, because like a lot of people felt like people feel like he wasn't like a physically imposing person, but it's one of those things like where I think if you weren't physically intimidated by him, like the things he did or like the way he carried himself would have what's what I'm looking for, made up for that. Like
absolutely.
For example, the crocodile scarring. That's not something that he did in the comics. That's actually something that they retconned and they've recently added in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, crocodile scarring, the bumps that Michael B. Jordan's character had on his upper torso and in his arms and his back, that is a ritual that is done by certain tribes in West Africa to symbolize your passage from childhood to adulthood.
Okay. Preach to him. Teach him.
Okay, so basically, what you would do, and I believe you have to be at least 10. You have to be between 10 and 12 to do this. So what you would do is you would go to your elder and say that you want to go through the ritual, and they would cut you with a small blade in those areas on your chest, your stomach, your sides, your back, and then your arms. Now you can't take any kind of alcohol, you can't take any kind of drug. What you can chew a certain kind of herb that allows to relax your body, but doesn't necessarily numb the pain. The whole ritual is to embrace pain because pain and suffering are a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
And this process is done over, I want to say it's over the course of 3 days, if memory serves me correctly.
Damn.
Yeah. And then once you make it through the ritual, you are acknowledged as a man amongst your tribe. Now, the wild part is the actual cleaning of the wounds, because it's basically like a controlled infection. That's what causes them to bump up the way they do.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Shit. I didn't know that. Me, I always thought it was scars. I always thought they were just raised scars from like burns or a knife or something, or like a hot knife or anything.
So there is a way to do it like that, for like in like the more modern eras, or like the more like West, or like us, like Americans, like we could do it that way, but nah, like the more traditional way is a small cut, or the small cuts that are supposed to heal over time.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, damn. I didn't know that one. That's interesting.
Yes. And the whole purpose of the crocodile scarring, like I said, is to make you embrace pain, because pain is a part of life and it's part of your journey. It's like, it basically states, once you can deal with the physical aspect of pain, the mental aspect and everything past it is easy.
Mm-hmm. Because your body will break down before your mind does.
Right.
As you keep your mind going, your body will keep going. Now, when it comes to Michael B. Jordan's portrayal of Killmonger, like, I love the fact that they modernized it. He wasn't there for the other reason. He was there because I'm gonna liberate the rest of my black folk that I grew up with. Y'all sitting here, y'all. What did he say? He said,
y'all sitting there comfortable.
Must be nice. So it must be nice. Y'all sitting there comfortable, right? While people that look like us have been fighting, dying, being beaten, suffering for decades. It's like your father had, at a drop of a dime, had the ability to change all that. You're supposed to be king of your people. You take care of your people. T'Challa's response to that is, I'm a king of Wakanda, not the king of all people. So my job is to take care of what's here, not out there. And Eric's like, yeah, nah, I challenge you to be king, because that's not how we doing that no more. Sure enough, he won, and Killmonger won, and then became the king of Wakanda for a short period of time.
Well, and this is another thing that's often talked about, because shout out to my boy JR, Dark Tower Tattoos. This is one of the things that he's always going on about, because he was like, yo, Chadwick Boseman lost, Killmonger won. He was like, this whole thing with them doing the rematch, he's like, he felt like that was cheesy. He was like, the good guy kind of had to win. But here's something I would like to point out. Killmonger's first appearance was in 1984, and he's popped up periodically here and there throughout the comics. And every single time he is squared off with T'Challa, he has whooped his ass.
Yeah, it wasn't just a win. It was an ass whooping. Every single time.
T'Challa has never once beat him fair and square, hands to hand in a fist fight. There's always been some extenuating circumstance or outside force or help. Like the whole scene where Michael B. Jordan throws the late Chadwick Boseman off of Warrior Falls actually is something that he does in the books. Like he was ready to throw him off the falls, and a small child that his group had actually his soldiers had actually killed his parents, pushed him off the falls.
Talking about coming full circle,
right?
Now, I'll say this. Well, spoiler if you haven't seen the first Black Panther movie, you really should have by now. So if you do get spoiled, that's on you. And now I don't forget what I was gonna say. Damn. Oh yeah, so I feel like the only thing I didn't like about how they treated his character in the MCU, really to me really wasn't right. They killed him off in the first movie.
Well, here's my thing with that, and this is one of the things we talked about too. Like they had an idea that movie was going to be successful. There was no guarantee that it was going to be a cultural phenomenon. It was going to be the shock. It was going to be what it was and what it is. There are white kids that dress up as the Black Panther for Halloween. Like it's on that type of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's crazy to me that there are Caucasian children who go, I want to be the Black Panther.
Yeah, I love that. That really that's breaking down a lot of these communicational boundaries that we all have. Now, which story do you feel like kind of like fits the character more? You know, his original origin, the newer origin with New York, or the MCU origin?
Well, the MCU origin was something that was really cool because, like I said, between the whole thing with the power struggle in LA, and then everything that's happened with gang culture because of the lack of leadership, and then you have the Panthers and everything that they tried to do, and there's a lot that goes back to if the Black community had just had the revolution that we quote unquote needed, maybe we wouldn't be so lost to the people. Like Njobu says it himself. I've sat by for as long as I can. He said their leaders have been assassinated. Communities flooded with drugs and weapons. They are overly policed and incarcerated. All over the world, our people suffer because they don't have the tools to fight back.
Preach, brother. Preach. And that's like, that's what Killmonger, at least in the MCU, that's what his goal was. He said, "Know what? Y'all been hoarding this technology too much, letting my people die and suffer while y'all still make millions of dollars. Nah, we're not having that." So now he has like, yeah, I don't know. Like I personally feel like I like that version of Killmonger, but after reading the comic book, I think I like that version of him better. The newer comic book better than the MCU one, actually. Now I'm really thinking about it. Now that I really think about it, I like that one a lot better because, like, bro, at the beginning of the issue, you see what he did? He smashed his counselor, rocked her world, and on the way out, looks at him like, colonizer. And just walks out like, come on now.
She was like, colonizer? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, God.
She didn't know what it meant, but she took full offense She took full offense to that shit. Hey, yo, wait, what you trying to say? What
Yeah,
you
I'm not.
trying to say?
I'm not even saying racial slurs no more. I'm just calling them colonizers.
Let's see. We got a comment here from OG. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways, OG says, I like when women to be like my favorite superheroes, X-Men. Well then, to each his own, buddy.
Um,
To each his own.
um, I don't know
Yeah,
what I'm supposed to do with that.
I'm gonna take that at face value. Congratulations, good for you. Um, well then, that was pretty damn interesting. Um, now,
Now, what do you
where would
think
you
he
like to?
meant when he said X-Men?
I'm gonna just take it at face value. The
Anywho,
man, he said what he said. He said what he said. I'm taking that at face value. Congratulations, that's good for you. Um, his name is Micropeen, so we. I'm gonna leave it at that.
remember, there are no
Now,
chicks with dicks, only men with tits.
yes, I don't know what to do with that. um,
But no.
now,
So, another thing I would like to point out with Michael B. Jordan's character is that, like, he did do certain things that try to make the character authentic to the comic book counterpart, like him growing and locking his hair. Like, I thought that was really cool, and the fact that he kept his lock short because he said that, like, he thought of Njidaka as a warrior first. And it's like how now if you read the comics, his locks are his locks are to the middle of his back. So he was like, you know, he's going to think of himself as a warrior. Of course, his culture and his heritage are important to him, but at some point in time, they're just going to be in the way. So he was like, he said like keeping them short and keeping them more giving it like a more modern feel was a way to stay true to the character, but also keep that warrior's edge to it. And I thought that was pretty cool.
No, absolutely, and I that decision has pretty much like forced a lot of. Unfortunately, I feel like it's created a bit of a stigmatism right now. When anytime in a lot of media right now, different media. Excuse me. When you see a black character, they now have his same hairstyle. For instance, look at Eddie Gordo. You know, when they drop him for DLC for Tekken 8. Normally, Eddie Gordo. Well, first off, for those you don't know, it is Black History Month, so I want to give an honorable mention to Eddie Gordo. And first off, and the man that he's essentially based off of, and who does all his mocap, Lateef Chowder.
That's a bad man.
That is a bad man right there. He is like the best number one capoeira fighter in the entire fucking world. He was in the Protector fighting against Tony Jaa. He does
Undisputed
pretty
3.
much all the mocap. Oh, yep. He does all the mocap for Eddie Gordo. Anytime you see capoeira used in a movie or TV show or some kind of media, he's usually the one that's either in it on camera or he's the one that choreographed it for them. So I just want to point that out for an honorable mention. But yeah, Eddie Gordo in Tekken 8. Normally his locks are also Lateef Chowder is a man with locks as well. So they carried it over into the character. But now he has, instead of long locks down to like the middle of his back, tied back into like a little ponytail. No, he has now they cut his hair They cut his locks, shaved down his sides, and now he has like just like the legit like full Killmonger look. And he has like a leather jacket with like a fur collar on it, and the fur collar is like leopard or whatever. Like, this has been the thing that's been going on a lot lately. A lot of creators, when like shit, look at Miles, and
Yeah.
Spider-Man. It was leading the exact same direction too. It was just like flopped off to the right side, and that's like the side that any time you see someone wearing the, it's being dubbed the Killmonger now. That's exactly how they have it, and the problem is, it's like, hey yo, like there are way other black hairstyles that you can go with. It's not just, oh, every black man has, every black character is gonna have locks and, no, and be short like this. No. Maybe give the character a fro. Maybe give the character some braids. There's so many different, black hairstyles. Fuck, let him grow that shit out. Give him an afro. But everything that you see within this last year has been with that Killmonger haircut, and it's wild to me. Because he is just such, like, I see Lateef Chowder. I see Lateef Chowder character, Eddie Gordo, as kind of like a pinnacle of what they got going on there. So for them to make that change just because, that's what's popping right now, it's wild. I don't like it. I feel like it's disingenuous.
Yeah, like the more they do it, the more it loses its originality.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it waters down the character as well, makes them less unique. And like, I feel like it plays into the all black people look alike type bullshit.
Oh wow, that's not where I was going with it, but okay.
Oh no, yeah. That's just something personally how I feel. Is like, so now all black characters have to have, because even look, if you go back to like the older cartoons, every black character, you know how they looked, black
Yeah.
bad, and I feel like this is, it's not nearly as severe or as bad, but it's right along the lines, man. Like, where's your creativity with your black characters? Why they got it? Why they all gotta have the same hairstyle? Why they all gotta kind of look alike? I don't know. Like, that's just me. I feel like it's so disingenuous, man. It feels like borderline tokenism in a way. Sorry, yeah. This month I've been on a fucking roll, man. I've been on a roll this month.
Ladies and gentlemen, Power Farrakhan, he'll be here all month.
Yeah, it's about to be exhausting. I'm not normally like this, but there's just been a lot of shit going on lately that's really been catching my eye, and I've been noticing, and it's just like, for why? It's unnecessary. It's like, why are you putting a black man in that situation? A black man would never be in that situation. A black man would never put himself in that situation. Type, and I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like they're not doing what they need to do in order to make genuine black characters anymore.
Well, shit, we could say that going back to Tropic Thunder. What was it he said? I know there was one good role in this movie for a black man. They went and gave it to Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, we all agree that Tropic Thunder pushed some boundaries that like needed to be pushed.
He said, "I'm sorry I didn't go H baby." He said, "That's a true story. A lady lost a kid." He's like, "You have to cross the fucking line."
Say, what? The dingo ate ya, baby? How dare you? He just flips up completely. It's based on a true story, right? Sad what happened to it.
I'm sick of this koala hugging nigga.
Pop! Watch your mouth. I don't know that. Yeah. Now, where would you like to see? I mean, I know they killed him off in Black
Well,
Panther.
here's the
But
funny thing.
go ahead.
So,
Mhm.
and Jadaka has died several times in the comics, and he usually winds up being resurrected, either by his followers or another means or other source. So, because he literally develops like his own whole cult. Because there are people who side with him going, yo, T'Challa's weak, T'Challa's wrong, like I don't fuck with this. That's why I always thought it was so weird at the end of Wakanda Forever where they made where they let M'Baku challenge for the throne. Everyone's just like, oh, okay. Like, granted, he helped with Namor, but you have someone who doesn't value the same thing as everybody else, all the other 4 tribes who you're about to make king.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that made no sense to me. But that's also because Winston Duke's character is a little bit more of an anti-hero opposed to being a villain.
True, because as we all know, if you read the comics, a man named M'Baku he's a full-on villain. Pretty much he's kind of like T'Challa's arch nemesis. That's like a person that we see him butt heads with a lot in the comic books,
and in the animation,
So, for them to do that, I felt like that was really weird. But I mean, I also get it too. Like, you lost T'Challa, the Queen's dead. Now you got this inexperienced, grieving princess in charge. Like, it would make sense to get someone who has experience with leading, a tribe, because he has his own tribe. So it makes sense to have someone leading that knows what the hell they're doing, and they're very good at what they do. They may not necessarily like it, but they know it's probably best for Wakanda.
Right.
So I personally don't think at least that version of Shuri could really run a country.
No, not yet, but not by no means. And then she has no support system on top of that, because but that was another thing with Killmonger, because granted he was a quote unquote usurper, but people saw him as someone who was going to stand by his people. He was going to do what he said. He's going to get shit the fuck done.
Mm-hmm. And he was going to get the hell out of there. You pop in, he does what he has to do, get on out.
Right.
So
I mean, with him being killed by T'Challa, there's several reasons that he could come back, because there is a whole scene that's cut out of the original movie where T'Challa is talking to T'Chaka in their underground. Like, Wakanda has, I forget what the actual term for it is, but it basically translates to the city of the dead.
Oh shit. Fuck, I normally know this one. Damn.
But there's a whole scene where they were talking, and how he basically said to him, like, this is not a playground, it's not some place you should be. And it's like how T'Challa was like, I like to be close to the ancestors. Now, once again, they also never said what happened to Killmonger's body. Now, I took it that he must have been buried on Wakandan soil in order for Shuri to see him.
Really?
Because everyone always thought, because the one thing that it was never really clear, because like, now if you watch the original Black Panther, like when Killmonger gets put in the ground and he sees Njobu, how he sees Njobu in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
where he died, opposed to Chadwick Boseman and how he sees T'Chaka as the Panther with the other Panthers around the tree,
Mm-hmm.
and how he sees him on the African plain. Like, people theorize that T'Challa saw T'Chaka there, opposed to seeing him on the plane, because Njobu never came back home. His body got left in America.
That's interesting. That's interesting, but I feel like it's a celestial kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a supernatural thing. So, I mean, I guess they want to put a like an actual like metaphysical ideology around it. You know, like the body has to be on Wakandan soil in order for him to be with his ancestors. I don't know. I saw it more as when you eat the heart-shaped herb, you're shown the people you see are essentially people you need to see.
Well, Shuri also, this is true, but Shuri also mentioned that, well, Killmonger mentioned it, that, you know, you can pick who it is you see also. Because remember, she was like, why? She's like, Njidaka, what are you doing here? He was like, you chose me. And she's like, impossible, I would never do that. He goes, oh, really? Why'd you take the herb?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she saw, like, that's another thing too. Like, she saw him because she was being consumed by her vengeance.
Just as he was.
Yes. So that would make sense that the person that she'd need to speak to more than anyone was the person who lived and died consumed by their vengeance.
Yeah.
Like, I had the courage.
Yeah.
Like, I had the courage to do what was necessary to change Wakanda. Like you said, like, you know, your brother was too noble. Your dad was a hypocrite. He's like, are you going to walk the paths that they didn't and come to the same conclusion? Or are you going to do what I did and take care of business?
Mm-hmm. He's like, where's your brother now? Essentially.
Yeah.
Like, he followed all that shit, but where's he at now? I mean, I would like to see him. I would like to see them bring him back, like, to do the whole resurrection and give him like a bigger and deeper storyline. But I kind of feel like if they did that, they would kind of end up running into the usual problem they have, which is just like regurgitating the same shit, the same stories, just maybe characters swapped. That's my only problem with them bringing him back. You know, we end up seeing him come back a lot. Like, so it's like it breaks. It kind of like breaks the
Continuity.
kind of like breaks this, the continuity and the system of it, because now you're like, let's say they do resurrect him for one movie and he's absolutely comes in clutch. All right, something happens the second movie. It's like, why don't you just call him and he'll handle it for you? It's like,
Or
it's like think about it this way. Like, it's like Goku fighting a strongest opponent, and like, he doesn't need to go to Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't need all that. He got God mode. He's going straight to God mode. It's like, you have a God mode. Why are you playing fucking games with these little it's calling the big guns? So, but with him being dead, it's like, all right, it gives them a bit more of a struggle, when they're dealing with stuff. So that's my only problem. If they do a resurrection, they got to worry about pretty much the regurgitation of words.
Well, I was thinking more. There'd be two big issues I could see.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, a lot of people compared Michael B. Jordan's performance to Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh yeah, heavy on that.
composed, and and everyone, a lot of people were confused because they said that you couldn't compare one performance to the other, but they were comparing the performances to the overall arc of the movie and the contrast that they had with the hero. Like Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger truly makes T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, become not just Black Panther in title, but king and the ruler that he needs to be.
Yeah, he pretty much, and that's what true storytelling is, especially when you have a villain. The villain is supposed to, by the end of the movie, the interaction that the hero has with the villain is supposed to irrevocably change how the hero views things and sees things. That's what a real arch enemy is. It's someone that challenges the hero, not just on a physical standpoint, but on a mental standpoint. Joker to Batman. Without Joker, Batman really necessarily wouldn't be who he is. Joker challenges Batman. Batman's always on his toes. He always needs to, pretty much he has to be on his top game in order to, protect the city from these guys. Same thing with Black Panther T'Challa. Black Panther T'Challa and Eric Killmonger. Killmonger challenged him not physically, but mentally and morally. He told him, he's like, we have thousands of people that look like us where I'm from that don't even know a fraction of what you guys have here. T'Chaka sat and watched our people suffer while you guys sat and have been able to play king and queen for centuries. And he challenged that. And what ends up happening by the end of the movie, T'Challa's like, you know what? He's not wrong. We need to, we really need to step up our game and start helping out our people that are around the world. And that's when we see him set up the outreach center in the city, in Oakland. So I feel like the whole resurrection thing and trying to be back, it would just be too much, and I don't think that any studio will be able to play that off properly.
The other thing for me is that I don't know what character they could make him fight if they turned him into a good guy who could really challenge him to be like, yo, I need to change my ways, or I need to reevaluate the way I've lived my life.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I don't know. So, what would you like to see them do with this character, like in the future? Because we see him in What If. We see Michael B. Jordan come back and portray him in What If, and the way they set up his character in What If. So what would you do?
Wait, what I would do was, I would like to see a version of Wakanda where maybe Shuri's trying to figure out just the day-to-day of how to rule, and then he's brought back as Black Panther just to take care of all the extra shit.
Yeah, because didn't T'Challa do that one time when he left to go help the Avengers? He left Shuri in charge to be queen.
Well, it might not have even been Shuri, because technically, once T'Chaka died, he was supposed to be crowned king, because Black Panther takes place. What is it, like a week after the events of Civil War?
Oh yeah, because he's just coming back from the fight at the beginning of the movie.
Right. So I'm thinking in my head that during that period of time, if Ramunda, Angela Bassett's character was in Wakanda, she might have, because she's Queen Mother, she was Queen, she might have just had to take care of things till he got back. And we've already seen that between the Dora Milaje and the elders of the village, that they're fully fine with taking orders from a woman. So
yeah, I think the problem with Shuri is that because of her age, it was her age that they were worried about.
Well,
not necessarily that she was a woman, but more so the age.
Well, that and the fact that Shuri's biggest drawback is that Shuri is a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Shuri is a scientist first. And it's like she only believes in the technological. She believes in the things that she can see and touch. Like even Killmonger said, like, you didn't believe the what was it? The spiritual plane was real. The ancestral plane. He's like, you didn't believe this shit was real. He's like, you took the herb because you wanted the power to kill the person who was causing you pain.
Mm-hmm. He's like, and that's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Like he said, you and me, we're a lot more alike than what you think.
Cousin. Because we've even seen that in the comics. When Shuri does become queen and it's her turn to become Black Panther, Boss rejects her. She has to use her technology to give herself the strength and speed and agility, that equivalent of what the heart-shaped herb would have given her. So, it's a little different. I would have liked in that situation, although it was a nice little, callback to the first movie, and it was nice seeing, Eric Killmonger and Michael Jordan playing his character again. But I would have more so liked to have seen her have an interaction with Boss. And that interaction actually in live action, where Boss is like, no, you're filled with anger, you're filled with rage. I will not give you my power. I would love to have seen that in live action, because then I feel like that would have, she would have like later on had to get that sense, like as she's fighting Namor, the same way she fought, she fought and then eventually stopped. Like, wait, hold on, why the fuck am I doing this? It's just hate and anger, and she catches herself. I would like to see that be after the situation with Boss, and when she takes that moment, she's losing, whatever, winning, losing. She gets to the point where she's losing, and she comes to realization, like, damn, like, I have all these people relying on me. I just brought all these people out here to this war. My people are dying. What am I doing? Maybe me and him can work together. Pretty much her giving up that hate and revenge. We end up seeing Boss come down as like, yo, you've proven yourself worthy of becoming the Black Panther in its full honor and rights, and pretty much and giving her the full power of the Black Panther.
Right.
And using that to be Namor.
And that would make sense because we see Bass in Love and Thunder.
No, we don't talk about Bruno. But yes, we did. We see a lot of different gods in there. If you haven't, people, I personally don't recommend watching Thor: Love and Thunder. It was, how you say,
lazy?
Let dog poop? Lazy, big lazy. Oh my god, so lazy. So lazy. Because, like, I'll put it this way. Remember how I said bringing back, resurrecting Killmonger, like, ever so often, felt like would end up like retconning a lot of shit.
Right.
It would do that the same way Thor: Love and Thunder did for the battle with Thanos. It's like he just chose to give all these goddamn children the power of Thor. Yet he couldn't do that with the rest of the Avengers on Earth. Have Cap sitting there like, Avengers! Thor's like, wait, Cap, hold on, give me a sec. Whosoever joins our side in the battle to defeat Thanos and rid the world of his tyranny and bring back half of the population of the universe is worthy to wield the power of Thor. Next thing you know, every single motherfucker on that field that's fighting against Thanos and his people are all now imbued with Thor. There were hundreds of thousands of people on that battlefield. So imagine Thor times all that. So I feel like that's what I feel like. It's like, all right, well, if you have this power and ability now, we got to see this more often now. If we have Killmonger come back all the damn time and he's a badass, they resurrect him to help. It's like, just keep him the fuck alive then. Why do you got to keep resurrecting? Just keep him alive then. And next time some big bad comes to knocking at your door, just use Killmonger to get rid of it. It's like, you got a shotgun in the corner. Why are you fighting this man with your hands? Get the shotgun, blow him away. Get what I'm saying? It's like there's a better solution than y'all sitting there struggling and doing all this and that. Call the big guns immediately. So yeah, that's just like a kind of like how it would be for me if they were to keep bringing him back. It just would end up not making sense in the long run. At least to me. I don't know. How would you like to run that?
Nah, I hear what you're saying. Like, I think I can't remember what the character's name is. I want to say it was a Shukabi. He's the one guy who's the anarchist. He's basically like the Black Panther's version of the Joker. Like, maybe like if they
yep.
Like if they had him deal with someone like that, like where Shuri was like totally completely overwhelmed, or they legitimately didn't know what to do, because like, you know, sometimes you can't always fight evil with good. Sometimes evil needs to be fought by a different kind of evil.
Absolutely. Yep. Now a character like that's that powerful. It makes sense, you know, but like I just don't see them doing the resurrection thing. Maybe once, but not twice or more.
Well, they wouldn't need to resurrect him twice. They would just need to resurrect him and keep him alive. And then like every time they had to use him or he had to fight, like even like if he had to quote unquote join the Avengers, which he does do in the comics, he could show up like, yo, X, Y, and Z, like, yo, I'm here. They could be like, yo, you know, you're not T'Challa, you're not joining our team, and he basically either contributes or saves somebody, or he maybe proves his mettle over time.
Yeah.
And even then, like in the comics, because N'Jaka is not a member of the royal family, and it gets revealed that you have to be a descendant of Bashinga in order to
ingest a heart-shaped herb, or unless if you're not, it'll poison you, kill you.
Correct. So say maybe since he is a member of the royal family, instead of him ingesting it, maybe he gets rejected by Bast also. Like Bast goes, no, you're not I'm not just going to give you my power with everything you've done since you've come home. You need to earn it.
No, I can definitely see that. Like I said, because that's what eventually ends up happening to Shuri in the comic books. She does eventually end up proving herself to Bast and becomes like, Black Panther in full right. So that would be pretty damn interesting right there. Because Michael B. Jordan actually rocking with the Avengers, having an actual good Black Panther on their team again. Because I'm sorry, I don't like Shuri as Black Panther in the MCU. I do not like it. It doesn't make sense. I feel like she don't got what it takes.
Just play out the political talks between him and Sam Wilson.
Oh my god. I mean, he's out of pocket, but he's right. I can definitely see that. Like, damn, he's out of pocket, but he's right. Like, damn, man. Like, I just feel like he would be such a dude. Imagine the conversation between him and Bucky.
Right? Or here's another thing. Let's not forget, Lord forbid that, T'Challa, excuse me, not T'Challa, Lord forbid and Njadaka actually meets Namor.
Like, so you're the one that gave her the strength to cut my goddamn wings off my feet. Okay. All right. I see what it is. Like,
Or it could it could be as far as him going, like, you know what I mean? Like Namor said to his, I want to say it was his cousin, like, the Black Panther was the strongest person I've ever met, strongest person I've ever fought. Like, she had every right to kill me, she chose not to. Like, you never know, the day might come when the cat needs the serpent. And then if the day comes when the cat needs the serpent to unite against the rest of the world, what's the rest of the world going to do?
Exactly. Two of the massively superpowered nations, coming together. Yeah, no. America would not be able to handle that shit.
America, Russia, China, Germany.
It's like black folks and Mexicans teaming up. It's always a party. Always a party. Again, we're also talking about in the MCU because that's kind of like that's where Namor Atlantis is kind of built off the Aztec warrior. There's a lot of Mexican heritage being put into that. So yeah, shit, it'll just, man, that'd be interesting. That'll be highly interesting to see. Now, me, yeah, I would definitely like to see maybe that version of Killmonger come back, end up joining the Avengers, or the Avengers need him for something. Because honestly, yeah, we certainly need more Killmonger, especially after the way the role was played, the writing of the character, like the personality that they gave the character, is great, and we just need to see more of him on the big screen in general. I don't know. What you think?
Nah, I definitely agree, man. And it's like, for them to give us such a cool character and then fucking rob us of him, Tom Hiddleston's Loki can come back 9 different times. Like, we saw this nigga fall into a black hole. We saw him get run through. We saw him get his neck snapped by Thanos. He gets erased from time. He rewrites time. He gets erased again. Like,
yeah. and that's my other problem. I also don't want them to write like a cop. I don't want to I don't want it to be a cop out kind of thing either. Because again, this is a great character, and I don't want to see them fuck it up by giving him like a cop out kind of situation, or kind of like doing a honeypot and teasing us with shit. Like, oh yeah, Killmonger's in this movie. Killmonger's in the movie. Fucking go to see the movie. Killmonger's only in it for like 10 fucking seconds. You know what I mean? I just don't want there to be a cop out.
Right.
You know, they if they're gonna do it, they got to do it right. They got to do it respectfully. You know, respectfully to the character, respectfully to the creator, and respectful to the culture and the people. But do good. Like, write a good story. Actually think. Use common sense while writing it. You know, sorry, my ear itch really bad. Really, 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 really bad. I'm just trying to think like what else I would like to see them do with him.
They had him appear.
Is crazy.
They had him appear in the Black Panther cartoon. So I think something a little bit more with animation or shit. They could have him pop up in the video game because Lord knows they're supposed to be doing a crossover between Black Panther,
Black
Captain
Panther,
America,
Captain America, and there was a third guy too that they still haven't revealed. Still secret. They haven't revealed who the third person is. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. That would be cool. I don't know. I just can't. I just can't. But my other thing is, I don't trust. I'd say I don't trust them to do it right. I don't trust Marvel to do it right, especially not with what they've had going on.
Listen, all right, everybody's committed a few fuck ups.
They've had a lot. They've had a lot. Like, they're literally about to erase an entire saga because they fucked up. And they just so happened to get a cop out with the shit that happened with Majors.
Isn't that convenient?
Right? Just so happens they're like, oh, he's guilty. After they've already fucked shit up. And like, yeah, now we have to fire him. It's not because we don't have a movie for him to be in anymore or anything like that. Yeah, nah. It was a setup to me. I don't know. So yeah, no, I personally don't trust him right now to do it. And if they do something like that, I want it to be on the caliber of Falcon and Winter Soldier, something like that good, but yet down to earth.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, would you want to still be as political?
Absolutely. If it's Eric Killmonger, coming from the MCU, it has to be. Yeah, he has to be because again, like you said, Huey P. Newton. Like he definitely it has to be political. It has to be racial, and I feel like that also goes into keeping it down to earth as well.
Definitely.
That's the way I see it. That's something that can be fun. I'm interested in reading the rest of that short run as well. Because like I said, reading that first comment, bro, the way that shit ended was nuts. That shit was crazy. I was on the edge of the page from the beginning to the end. So I'm most definitely interested in seeing how they decide to do this. If they decide to do it. Because I'm not really one. I'm not one for like backtracking. So like, if you mess up, like if writers mess up, they like, or if they write themselves into the corner, they like to backtrack and retcon shit
Yeah.
in order to get them out of the corner. So I just don't want them to do that. All right, if you're gonna backpedal, you'll make it for a good reason, not just because you kind of screwed yourself and wrote yourself in the corner. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I don't know.
that does tend to happen. I'm not against that, but you gotta make it make sense.
Exactly. Like fucking when Cap became Captain Hydra, that shit didn't make sense. It happened because they wrote themselves in a corner with that, so they needed to go somewheres. So they just threw a Hail Mary and got lucky with that one. Yeah, the whole Captain Hydra thing, the whole Captain Hydra storyline was crazy.
I saw that shit. I thought I was in a fucking fever dream. I was like, who is what?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who at Marvel's getting fired for this shit?
Shit, man. Clearly, did you hear what Disney just did recently?
No.
$1.5 billion into Epic Games in Fortnite. Yeah, $1.5 billion. They just bought into Epic Games. So now Fortnite is literally about to become Kingdom Hearts, just with guns. Their whole new map is each area is for a different like Disney character. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you're about to see everybody from Disney in that motherfucker, including the side characters. That'd be, man. Listen,
the mouse already rules the world. I mean, is it going to be too much of a sight to see him with an AR running around shooting other characters?
that's it. Yeah, honestly, yeah. If that's the world that Disney envisions when they take over, I'm good.
Whoo bang! Whoo bang! Whoo bang!
Mm-hmm. You're right. Oh, you thought you can get away, eh? I'll catch you from 30 yards away. Click, clap, boom. Gorsh, Mickey. Yeah, nah. Nah, man. Shit, dude, man. If Marvel could just get their shit together, they can do so fucking much, dude.
Well, I think the thing also is that they're notoriously bad for switching gears between projects. Because I think that since they've been focused on the fucking the Star Wars aspect of shit as of late,
gross,
which is going to leave us all feeling like we got jacked off with dry hand jobs.
Fucking sandpaper. That's how I felt. That's how I felt about fucking Daisy Ridley or Ripley, whatever her name is. Oh, the last 3 Star Wars movies. I feel like I got jerked off by an old lady with Parkinson's and sandpaper.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was bad, dude. 'Cause again, I've watched all the Star Wars movies. At the time, I killed out the Mandalorians, Boba Fett, everything hardcore. And then so like those 3 movies are just like and then the only redeeming factor is having Mark Hamill come back as Luke, which in turn it was absolutely fucking horrible. The way they sent Luke off was absolutely horrible. So, and it's stuff like this. It's like, all right, if we see Disney fucking up with characters that have already been established
for 20 years, 20, 30 years.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen when they pick up like a character that's only kind of been relevant for the last few years? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's just going to be disappointment.
Yeah, I hear you.
So hopefully they get their shit together. Hopefully they get it done. It's just a disaster waiting to happen if they continue to try to do that. Ow. Damn, I'm getting old, bro. Every time I move, my back wants to snap, crackle, or pop.
Sounds about right. But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens when you get old. Don't get old. But small tangent until Power jumps back in. Eric Stevens, also known as Eric Killmonger, graduated from Annapolis at the age of 19.
Sorry about that. I'm back in action. It dropped me out for some weird reason. What was that? What did you have said?
I was saying how Eric Stevens, aka Killmonger, graduated Annapolis at the age of 19. Went to MIT for grad school, earned 2 PhDs. After that, he joined the Navy SEALs, went straight to Afghanistan, where he fought in every major war zone on the planet. Cats in his unit started calling him a Killmonger.
It's is that a direct quote from Shuri from Black Panther, the first one?
Everett Ross said it.
Because I just went back and I just watched that clip where they're in the throne room, right before the "Hey Auntie," and he's like, why don't you ask him who I am? And and he's like, nah, just take him away. No, for real, go ahead, ask me who I am. And Shuri comes out, you're Eric Stevenson, blah blah blah, this and this and that. Like literally, I think it was pretty damn near verbatim to that.
It was.
And then and then the elder jumps up and is like, "Who are you?" And that's when he's like, "Yo,
what you know in Jobu?
Mm-hmm.
Found my dad with panther claws in his chest. You ain't the son of no king. You son of a murderer."
Exactly. That scene was dope. And then his mother, "You lie." And then Danny Kaluuya's character, sorry, mother. Yeah, nah, he's not. He has the vibranium ring, royal ring.
Said, "You need another enjoyable." Said, "Hey, auntie."
And from what I heard, that scene right there, everyone loves that scene. Yeah, it was improvised.
I believe it. Some of the best scenes in movie history are improvised.
Yeah, kind of fun. You ever watch Taxi? Robert De Niro?
Yes.
Yeah, that whole mirror scene. They let Robert get drunk and just let him go in the mirror, and just recorded him drunk as hell in the mirror doing that.
I'm not surprised, but
yeah, definitely not Robert De Niro. That motherfucker is like beyond any like other actor. He's like the number one actor in the world to me, ever. Now, here's one thing that I would hate to see when it comes to this. I would hate to see them resurrect or even then bring back Killmonger in some way, shape, or form, and it not be Michael B. Jordan. I would hate to see that. I couldn't do that. I feel like he embodied the characters so damn well with such little kind of like backstory or background for him to work with.
I feel so cheated.
What was that?
I said I would feel so cheated.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why, yo, it felt so right for him to be in Wakanda forever. Um, and it was I would have felt cheated if they would have did it with just like a disembodied voice. I would have felt cheated as well. But no, I can't. I kind of feel like he is Killmonger, and the fact that he offered such a fresh and like modern feel to the character, especially with the brazen robbery scene at the beginning. Our boy's
Yeah,
all decked out, cooled out jewelry with the nice ass shades on and shit like that. Just just talking very intelligently about art. But my man got the jean jacket on. He looked hood as hell, and he added this flair of where the character's supposed to be from, in the movie and stuff like that, and it just really made the character like 100 times better than I could have ever thought about it. The swag, the attitude, the real pain I felt like he brought to the character. So yeah, they can't be anyone. They can't be another Killmonger,
nah, they
because
said he's not.
he would have
He's
too
not
much to
someone they
live up
could
to.
easily replace, but no, by no means.
Yeah, I think it's the same reason why they're probably not gonna truly go really hard with another mainstream Joker, because like there's just so much that you got to live up to, so many things you got to do right, and actually to be considered and for it to be considered being right. I don't know. That's just
Well,
me. I will. That's what I would love to see.
well, with the Joker, it's a little bit harder because there's so many more aspects of his personality. Just like how certain characters you can have multiple people play them and have them be true to that character. I look at Fassbender playing Magneto in First Class, and then if you look at Sir Ian McCullen,
Yeah. Yep. McCollum.
and then if you look at him playing him as the older version of him, both of those are spot on because they're still the leaders with the military experience who are okay with getting shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at McAvoy's Xavier and Patrick Stewart's Xavier, there are some very clear differences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a pretty good point. There's different aspects of characters and stuff like that. I mean, now if they were to do a more like comic book, like original comic book accurate, who was more of a savage and more physical. Now I could definitely see them getting someone else to play him instead, because he was a massive person.
He took down a charging elephant with his bare hands.
Yeah, he built different. Built very different. I mean, so that's the only other aspect of Killmonger you see is the more savage side. Like, and who would you have play that?
Oh, see, I don't think there's no one who I think at this point in time who could really play that character without making him significantly older.
Yeah. Yeah. T-Pain, he already has the locks and everything. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, last week he can walk up to bitches like, so I met the bartender.
She was a colonizer.
Man, you take one more drink, and I'm gonna end up fucking you. Is that what you want to do, shorty?
Oh man. Um Listen, before we end up heading out of here, I want to give a few shout outs. Shout out to Midnight Comics. They have been absolutely amazing and detrimental in our growth and us moving forward. Plus their comics are absolutely beautiful. The first black family owned comic book and manga distribution company with from so many characters like Soul, Admani, the Gray. Um, absolutely amazing. Comic book and working and coloring. Shout out to Icarus Comics as well. The same thing as that Concrete Comics. They've actually been really, really awesome. They're also dropping releasing a new comic called Luna, coming out soon. The Kickstarters are out there. All these Kickstarters will be posted to our Instagram for you guys to go check out. See what they got, and show some love and show some support. Um, I definitely want to give a shout out to Terramata Tequila for giving me the confidence to come out here and do what I do, to make y'all laugh, to educate you guys on these characters. But yeah, definitely soon we're gonna be actually having the links directly up on here for you guys to just, I want to check them out. You just click and go. So that's definitely something that is being worked on. But no, yeah. Definitely thank you to everyone that watches us regularly, even if you don't catch us while we're live. The people that head on over to our YouTube, the Super Breakdown podcast, and rewatch the episodes just to get a good feel for everything, and for us as a podcast and as a show. We're not always right when it comes to these facts. We're just going off from what we read, what we've read, what we've been told, what we've seen over time. So yeah, just bear with us. We're doing our best to give you guys the best, communication and the best information possible. I don't know. You got any last words for them, buddy?
Any last words for them? Remember that we are Njidaka's army.
Yes, that's solid. For me, it'll be, remember, revenge isn't everything. It's the only thing. Remember that. Keep it in the back. Revenge isn't everything. It is the only thing. Do unto others as they do unto you. Plain and simple. That's what I got. And but yeah, tune in next week. We're gonna be sitting down and talking about all the amazing black superhero females in all comics and pop culture. So if you have any ideas of any characters you want us to talk about and touch on, please go to our Instagram, DM us in our Instagram, leave a comment underneath this video on the YouTube or wherever you see it at. We want to know what y'all think and what black female queens of the superhero world should we be taking a look at when
That's
and
no one I want to go over.
Aurora Monroe.
I was gonna say Okoye.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jeez, yeah, Sequoia. That's fucking great. I definitely want to touch on Storm. I fucking love Storm. I love her story. So so clearly you're gonna get Okoye, you're gonna get Storm, you're gonna get so much more in next episode, because at the end of the day, it is Black History Month. You cannot celebrate Black history without mentioning the strong, amazing Black women that got us to where we are today. So we will definitely be working on that for next episode. And at the end of the day, quick fun fact before we go. The inventor of the folding chair
Oh my God.
went by the name of Nathaniel Alexander. He was a black man. A black man invented the folding chair. That is lovely. It just feels like it's full circle karma. And for those who don't know, I'm talking about the Alabama brawl a few months back in the summertime. Yeah. But with that being said, that has been the show. We're the Super Breakdown. Catch us every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Power Maximus. You're here with Lord Trios. We are here every weekend together doing this because we love it. And we know y'all love it. And with that, also remember, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Gang, gang. Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.